the Mayor of Santa Clarita, Lorraine West. From the County Board of Supervisors, LA County Supervisor Catherine Barger. Representing the 25th Congressional District in California, Congressman Steve Knight. And Secretary for the U.S. Department of Transportation, Elaine L. Chow. And now coming to the podium, Representative Steve Knight.
It's always nice when the secretary's the first one to clap. Boy, what a great day. This is one of the absolute best cities in America. I say that a lot, but it absolutely is. You're standing right now in Santa Clarita and the county that surrounds the city of Santa Clarita. This is as good as it gets. And so I want to thank all of you for coming. Thank all of you for either being a part of this or knowing about this. And this is just something else. And we'll get into our words as we get going. But I wanted to bring up a few people. So first, our Santa Clarita Mayor, Lorraine West.
Thank you, Congressman. Well, that's not going to mind, is it? All right. Thank you, Congressman. Good evening and welcome. My name is Lorraine West, and I am the mayor of Santa Clarita. Thank you, Mike. Oh, what a great man. Great man. Yeah, give that man a hand. My hero. On behalf of the Santa Clarita City Council, it is my great pleasure to be here this evening to celebrate the $47 million Infrastructure for Rebuilding America grant that Transportation Secretary Elaine Chow recently awarded to the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority. On behalf of the City Council, I want to personally thank Secretary Chow, Congressman Steve Knight, and County of Los Angeles Supervisor and Metro Board Member Catherine Barger for their leadership in making the Interstate 5 Golden State Chokepoint Relief Program Grant Award a reality. I also want to, I'd also like to thank the extraordinary team at Metro for recognizing the importance of the Interstate 5 corridor through the Santa Clarita Valley and submitting an outstanding INFRA grant application in partnership with the California Department of Transportation and County of Los Angeles. This submission reflects a strong regional partnership which brought together broad public sector and private sector support for this application and the project. This project recognizes the important role that the I-5 interstate plays in local, regional, and national goods movement. This addition of high occupancy vehicle lanes will make a positive impact in the Santa Clarita Valley. Implementation of the I-5 Golden State Chokepoint Relief Program will tremendously help to reduce our freeway congestion, improve our traffic safety, and enhance our air quality. I know our residents that commute to work throughout the greater Los Angeles County area will appreciate these planned improvements as they drive on the Interstate 5. On average, 205,000 vehicles travel through this choke point every single day. Less congestion will mean getting home sooner to our children and having more time to enjoy with our family members and friends. It also translates to efficiency. Any business in the Santa Clarita Valley will benefit from the reduced congestion, which will allow their raw goods and materials and finished goods to travel faster to their destination. Interstate 5 is the backbone of the West Coast Trade Corridor. It stretches nearly 800 miles between Canada and California's Mexican border. The improvements of this portion of a critical national freight corridor will yield significant dividends well into our future. I want to state again how much we appreciate the critical work that's being done here, and we look forward to 2020 when the project will kick off. It is now my great pleasure to introduce the supervisor for the 5th District of the County of Los Angeles and a member of the Los Angeles County Metropolitan Transportation Authority Board of Directors, Catherine Barger.
I want to thank you, Mayor West. This has truly been a collaboration, and I'm up here. I know that the Congressman is going to talk about what this project means and give you the specifics, but my role is really as a Metro board member is to thank the people behind me for being team players. We could not have done this without the support of Congressman Knight. When I would go back to Washington, D.C. to meet with the Department of Transportation executives, he would stand side by side to make sure that we had everything we needed as related to the needs of LA County Metro. And I want to thank Mayor West and the council members that are here for your support. This is not just about LA County or about Metro. This is about a regional connector that arguably is probably one of the most important connectors between the port and the goods leaving LA County going into other states. Having a choke point lane dedicated to trucks is going to make a difference, and it's also going to save on the environment as it relates to the trucks that sit idling. So I want to thank you, Secretary Chow. You and your staff have been incredible. They work hard. The questions they asked in order for us to justify this loan were good questions. They were important questions, and actually it's not a loan, it's a grant. Sorry, we're not giving it back. But they were good. They challenged the Metro Board. I know Michael Cano is here, who is a former staff member to County Supervisor Mike Antonovich, who actually, this has been a passion of his, the I-5 freeway, and we're actually in Michael D. Antonovich Open Space Preserve right now. But Metro being a team leader, and Mark Pastrello, our Director of Public Works, is here and will be working collaboratively with us on the Old Road, which is an important component of this project. But I also want to acknowledge Mayor Pro Tem Marcia McClain, and Councilmember Bill Miranda from the city of Santa Clarita, who are here, and also Senator Henry Stern, who we are in his district on the state Senate side. But again, to Secretary Chow, thank you for being here. Thank you for recognizing what an important program this is. This is one of the few grants, actually I think the only 2 in Southern California, that were granted, and it is because it is a project that speaks for itself. So again, thank you very much, and thank you, Congressman Knight, for being a champion on this project and for being a partner with the County of Los Angeles, City of Santa Clarita, and with the Metro Board. Thank you.
Thank you, Supervisor and Mayor. I couldn't have said it any better myself. I want to thank you for kind of explaining what happens with this grant, what's going to happen with the people that are using this freeway. I have an awful lot of words about what happens in Congress and how we get things done. But I can tell you, I've been a commuter on these freeways here, either the 14, the 5, the 405, since 1990. And it is tough. It is difficult. When the people that come from the Antelope Valley, there's 70,000 people that come over the hill every day. There's about that many that come over this pass every day into the LA Basin. This is not a checkpoint. This will be a checkpoint later, but this is a choke point. And the goods that get off the ships and come from San Pedro and LA and they want to go north, this is where they go. They have to get through here to get to Northern California and points beyond. So this is that area. When I was talking to people about this this situation, I was telling them, you're not going to find places like this anywhere in the country because of the goods movement and the people movement that converge right here. This is the number one. So dealing with Secretary Chow and her staff has been just a real thrill for us. They were open to listening, and they were open to working with us. Now, she is not someone who doesn't know Southern California. She knows this area very well, knows what the Antelope Valley is, knows what Santa Clarita Valley is, knows what San Fernando Valley is, and knows this whole area. So you're gonna get a good perspective from somebody who knows Southern California and understands what this means to us. So I want to thank the secretary. I want to thank the mayor and the supervisor and everyone who's here that has had their hand in it. And then I also want to thank my staff. I've got Lisa Moulton in the back, who's just been absolutely stellar on this, and working back and forth with the secretary's staff has been a real great event for us, and it has worked very well. So we appreciate that very much. Okay, now. I'm good. The $47 million awarded to LA County Metro is part of DOT's Infrastructure for Rebuilding America grant program, or INFRA. This money will be used for the I-5 Golden State Chokepoint Relief Program to extend carpool lanes 13.4 miles and the 514 interchange all the way to Parker Road in Castaic. This will dramatically improve the commute for anyone in the Santa Clarita or Antelope Valleys who travel into LA for work, shopping, or play. You can go for work, you can still shop and play here, right here. This is yet another example of how we've been delivering for Southern California families, and wouldn't have happened without the team effort between Washington and our local leaders right here, Supervisor Barger, Mayor West, and the City Council, and the county as a whole. We really appreciate this. Okay, it is now my great pleasure to introduce the... Back. I am going to introduce the secretary, but I do want to say two things about our special guests up here. Since Supervisor Barger was elected a couple years ago, she has served the Northern LA County with excellence and distinction. I think we would all agree. My office has worked with hers extensively on various initiatives, including the Revolutionary Convenience Care Initiative for our veterans, and of course, this INFRA grant. I've known Mayor West for many, many years, and I'm proud to call her a close friend. The city of Santa Clarita has always been an extremely valued partner with us in advocating for the issues that are important here in the Santa Clarita Valley. And a third person who's in the audience today, I think it's very important that we recognize Supervisor Antonovich, who was our supervisor for 36 years, and he's been a very close friend of mine for, I think, 34 somewhere in there. He is the reason I am married to my beautiful wife, Lily, here. He helped sponsor my wife from Chile, and so I'm indebted to Supervisor Antonovich for the rest of my life. Now it is my great pleasure to introduce the 18th U.S. Secretary of Transportation, Elaine Chao. Previously, she served as U.S. Secretary of Labor, the first Asian American woman in American history to be appointed to the President's Cabinet. Secretary Chao has a distinguished career in the public, private, and non-profit sectors. She has served as Deputy Maritime Administrator, Chairman of the Federal Maritime Commission, and Deputy Secretary of the U.S. Department of Transportation. In addition, she has served as President and CEO of United Way of America and Director of the Peace Corps. That's it? Okay. Secretary Chao has devoted most of her professional life to ensuring that everyone has the opportunity to build better lives for themselves and their families. I think that it is an extreme honor that she has come out to Southern California, and it is my honor to introduce Secretary Elaine Chao.
Thank you, Congressman Knight. This is a great day. You're going to get a lot of money to fix the problem behind us. I want to thank Congressman Knight because Congressman Knight has been tireless in championing the improvement of transportation infrastructure for all of Southern California. Congressman, we have so appreciated the opportunity to work with you and your staff. You have been a tremendous advocate for your district and for your state. You have helped the U.S. Department of Transportation understand the vital roadways and the interconnections that are part of the region. And through your persistent and dedicated service, you have helped to make this grant possible. And so before your constituents, I want to thank you for telling Washington what we needed to know about your district. So I think he deserves a great round of applause. I want to acknowledge, of course, Supervisor Barger. She and I have known each other for quite a while. I'm so proud of what she's doing. And of course, Mayor West, thank you for your service. And I'm also so glad to see Supervisor Mike Antonovich here as well. We are here on a very special day to celebrate the $47 million in infrastructure grant to help improve the traffic situation here in the Valley, and to make the I-5, or the 5 as it's called here, safer and more pleasant for everybody who travels on it. Now, you know this, but other people may not. The 5 is the only interstate highway that runs from Mexico to Canada, and at nearly 1,400 miles long and crossing 3 Pacific Coast states, it's important to our region here and also to the country. And so the U.S. Department of Transportation, with Congressman Knight's help, believes that this $47 million grant is not only a sound investment, but an important contribution to the region's transportation network and the economy. So the LA County Metro will administer the grant to advance this Chokepoint relief program, and most of the project's costs will be covered by non-federal funding. And I want to point that out because this is a tremendous achievement by all the parties concerned. In fact, over 86% of the project cost will come from private funding, local revenues, and state transportation funding measures. The federal portion is like seed money. We kind of put the good seal of good housekeeping to say that this is a worthy and a worthwhile project. This project will result in over 13 miles of high occupancy vehicle lanes, an additional 2.7 miles of new truck lanes. There's also going to be new auxiliary lanes, bridges will be widened, some bridges will be replaced, and other needed improvements will be made. Now, this project is designed to improve safety and mobility along the 5. But projects like this, as we all know, have cascading benefits, such as increased capacity for passenger traffic and freight hauling that will generate economic growth for this region, and also improved access to greater LA. That's going to benefit the regional economy. And reducing congestion improves air quality, as Supervisor Barger mentioned. It's going to enhance the quality of life for everybody traveling along these roads. So to help ensure that the promise of this project is realized, I also want to commend this community and Metro, because the infrastructure grant process includes new selection criteria that's supposed to incentivize applicants to develop accountability standards. Metro stepped up to the plate and proposed an accountability condition on this federal funding. They are pioneers, and they are an example to the rest of the country. For example, if the average speed of the HOV lane drops below a certain standard, Metro will work with the state to modify the HOV occupancy policy. And if they don't secure a change within 12 months, Metro will then return a portion of the award for each month of delay. Now, the terms of these accountability conditions are still being negotiated, but we appreciate so much the good faith efforts and the creative and innovative ways that Metro and this community and this region is undertaking to help assure taxpayers that they're getting value for their dollars. About half of the selected projects this year, including this one, includes these kinds of proposals. Now, deploying federal monies as seed money to incentivize infrastructure investment is a very powerful tool to attract other kinds of monies. So we believe very much in supporting and empowering decision-making at the state and local level, because the U.S. Department of Transportation and this administration believes that you know best what your needs are, and that we, the U.S. Department of Transportation, are here to help you and to partner with you. So this is really a very important example, again, that is a pioneer and an innovative model for other transportation systems throughout the country. The department's role, once again, is to be your partner, and keeping up with the traffic demands of this region is not going to be easy. We know that keeping up with the traffic in this thriving region will continue to challenge transportation planners. But based on our partnership so far and the tremendous work that your congressman has done to help us understand the unique requirements and needs of this region, we are confident going forward that we will have a great partnership in addressing the transportation challenges of this region. So I want to thank you so much for being here. It's a great opportunity to see everyone, and I hope that you'll be back when the roads behind us will be much improved. And I want you to also thank Congressman Knight, because it is because of his vigilance, his persistence, his determination, and his hard work with the administration, with the U.S. Department of Transportation, that we are able to be here today to address the transportation needs of Southern California. So, Congressman, once again, thank you so much for working with the U.S. Department of Transportation, and you can now stop calling us. But thank you for calling us, because we know that you care and you want to make sure that we understand your district and your constituents. So thank you very much.